Hi, chat room. Sorry to bounce you guys all over the place. Apologize. I came home to a series of updates that followed another series of updates. No problem. That's okay. So, fingers crossed, we'll keep going. I'm restarting the computer and hopefully I'll be able to jump on again. They had to reset the board in Chicago so you guys could hear Johnny again because he wasn't coming through, which is a shame because Johnny was awesome today. He's being great. Johnny, can you hear me? Johnny, can you hear me? Oh, he's indisposed currently? I see. What the? Okay, great. Oops. This is the problem or not. Let's see. Johnny, are you there? Can we hear you? I don't know that I can right now. There you are. Now, yeah, there you are, you turducken. Um, I don't know. That sounds like what you said to me right before you kind of vanished. Yeah, that's right. Um, so I don't know how much you gathered of kind of what I was saying or whatever, and I think, and you and I were, kind of in the same voting zone age-wise, right? Right, which we now know was a completely staged political hit. Rachel did an amazing report on that. That picture of that woman sitting on his lap was one of those situations where he was like, "What? Who wants a picture?" And this woman just sat on him when he went, "Hey, how you doing?" And while he was like, "Hi," and he smiled at the camera for a split second, that was the end of it. He ended up with this real like you know, basically, and it was right after he'd said, "Look, I don't do anything wrong. Go ahead, look into my background, see if I care." And then they just went after him. So there's got to be, I think, right, yeah. Now, Trump basically ran on what got Gary Hart dismissed last time, and I think there was some independent voters and quite frankly, a few Bill Clinton voters who still harbor scars about men being you know being damaged politically for what is effectively what they view as normal sexual behavior. Not sexual assault, but just simple engagement with the opposite sex. That this is a yeah, well, in the case of Gary Hart's idea, that this woman was simply just sitting on his lap, and and the idea was that they might have been having an affair, and when you look at, in terms of them having this affair, if they had been, it fell under, I think, what a lot of people would view as a so what. and the same thing to some degree with the Clinton affair. It was a consensual affair with an adult woman, and it was made to be to the level of impeachment. Meanwhile, by the way, Republicans couldn't be happier to to basically run a candidate who was so far down the road from what Bill Clinton was ultimately impeached for, and then run interference for him in the case of Devin Nunes and Mitch McConnell. As let's see, okay, gotcha. Well, he's no longer an issue on a lot of different fronts. The ethics violations, absolutely. And the Democrats can run an ethics investigation into Devin Nunes. Yes, so that personally, I think that's in the cards. That is a very strong possibility. But we'll see. So, I personally think, by the way, this deference that Trump is showing to Bush Sr. has nothing to do with his genuine feelings about him. I think, with the exception of Obama, I think Trump likes the idea of himself being in a club of other white presidents, and especially in the Republican world. So he wants to tie himself to the not to the establishment per se, but to the country club aspect of it. You know what I mean? That I belong to this particular club of humans, and so yeah, he's okay by me. And he was against his own son's idea of in terms of the Iraq War. To some degree, Trump could claim that he and the father both had the same attitude about invading Iraq the second time, and I think he likes that as a weapon against against George W. So yeah, his big one on Stern was, yeah, I guess we have to, but I don't know, and that's him hedging the whole thing, because Trump's big thing is he likes to have it both ways. So that whenever there is no catching Trump in a lie to himself, because if you watch how he disseminates, and people in the chat room have really been able to kind of point this out, that he has the ability to go, well, maybe he didn't, maybe he did. And he does that he did it with the Saudi prince. He's done it with Putin on several occasions. He's done it with the Russians. He's done it with the Chinese. He's certainly done it with Kim Jong-un. There is a constant, sort of having both versions, available to him if he ever gets called as being dumb in the past, or of being mistaken, or uninformed, or frankly stupid. He will fall into this. Well, I said both. I mean, it could have been either way. I happen to think it should have gone the other way, and I still do. And some people think that I'm right, and a lot of people think that I'm right. That's effectively his argumentative strategy. And it shouldn't surprise anyone that's the tack that he constantly takes. When we talk kind of openly about the Cohen break this week and why it's different from all the other moments we've had with Trump, there is a clear problem with how Trump has engaged with Michael Cohen from the very beginning, that he browbeat this guy and treated him like a dog for so long, and it worked, quite frankly. Cohen was the kind of guy where this worked on him. This was an effective strategy for exercising control over over how how Trump ultimately would view his. This is a guy for all practical purposes, if you, yeah, right. Well, Trump, yeah, but in the case of Cohen, you know, this is how you choke chain that guy. That's how, Trump wasn't wrong in terms of that's how you keep control of this guy. This was an effective strategy. The problem that Trump runs into now was there's a limit on that almost with everybody. There is a real you know you can only push that so far, and even this guy, when you're getting waived a get out of jail free card by Robert Mueller's team, which they will honor, you are then your loyalty to Donald Trump goes out the window, because I don't doubt for a second that yeah, but I think Manafort's issue is that he dealt with some real murderers in terms of Ukraine and Russia. Not him. I think his kids or his wife, or and that's a legit fear to have. These are people who spray poison in people's faces while they walk through airports. It's not. And he just transferred the ownership of his condo in this house, like this $15 million house that he and his wife own. No, I think it was 1.5. So and Zillow had it listed as 1.3. But his wife owns that house free and clear now. He transferred that to her. So I think that's his reason. That's his purpose. And how are you doing on time? We got to take a break, I think. Yeah, we'll do a break. We'll be back right after this. It's the Hal Sparks Radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. Let's see. Hopefully this comes back up. I don't know. My monitor, guys, literally just started blinking. And you could probably see it in the background. This is my monitor going on and off for some peculiar reason. And I can't figure out what it is. See if my computer restarts. Can definitely see the monitor misbehaving. Yeah, it's just flashing. I'm not quite sure what it's, I needed to update the system software so that my broadcasting software would work. And when I did that, everything started freaking out. So I'm not quite sure what that is. And luckily, the YouTube updated their app so that you can broadcast again. How could you explain the Foreign Corrupt Practices Law and how it applies to Trump and Putin? Sure. Yeah, we'll do that when we come back. It's not a beta version. That's the weird thing. It's an update. Might be meeting a fellow Twitter liberal tomorrow, fellas. Well, that's good. All right. Down in your area, that's a rarity. Black garlic is sweet marinated in beer and then cooked in a slow cooker for 10 days. Whoa. I'm going to have a cool post show today, though. By hook or by crook, you guys. Catch you up on all things China that every time I tried to talk about it, my signal would cut out, curiously enough. Oh, thank you, Brad. Oh my God, the high five, yeah. I can. Cool. That's right. Welcome back. So, in the case of Michael Cohen's switch over this week, there's been a lot of misery straight from uh, the Trump cabinet that's gotten a lot of news. We've heard reports over time of freakouts going on in the White House, people being apoplectic, people wanting to quit. He's lost his mind, all that stuff. Yeah. So but this week it seems like there's some real stuff to it. I think my favorite moment this week, and it was brought up by somebody in our chat, uh, is the high five between Putin and Mohammed bin Salman. That was both of them sharing a moment where, look at that, we're both getting away with killing people and laundering money and all kinds of crimes, and Trump won't do anything about it. And look, we share a bitch is essentially what they were doing. We both got him right where we want him. And, and there's this really funny shot of him in the background while it happened, kind of giving this like, hey, wait a second, you guys. Yeah, and by the way, he used the excuse that the reason that he did it was out of respect for George H.W. Bush's death or whatever. I don't buy that. It's absurd. Yeah, but America's doing so well. I don't want the death of somebody to interfere with people knowing how great I'm doing. This is a great, they have no way to spin how the G20 went. It was an embarrassment. Other world leaders are avoiding him. There's been no progress on the tariffs. There's been no progress on, any of the major issues that he is presenting as. Yeah. Yeah, and no one in there is taking him seriously. He's got yeah. So I guess the real reason I think is what I will lovingly refer to as Document 8 is the primary thing. Individual 1. Yeah, right. Such a lonely nickname. Oh my gosh, Individual 1. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be, it a Megadeth album title or something in the near future. But the Cohen's lawyers released Document 8. They presented this in court to deal with this fact that he had pled guilty in court, and this is what they would like as their sentencing outline. It starts off pretty direct. As we respectfully submit this memorandum on behalf of our client Michael Cohen in connection with his sentencing proceedings scheduled for December 12th, 2018. On August 21st, 2018, this court accepted Michael's plea of guilty to information, charging him in 8 counts with tax evasion in violation of 26 U.S.C. 7201, making false statements to a financial institution in violation of this, campaign finance offenses. And on November 29, 2018, Michael pleaded guilty before the Honorable Andrew Carter Jr. to a separate information, charging him in 1 count of making false statements to Congress. That's kind of the new part. Beginning before the entry of his plea on August 21st and continuing thereafter through late November, Michael participated in 7 voluntary interview meetings with the Special Counsel's Office of the Department of Justice. He intends to continue to make himself available to the SCO as and when needed for additional questioning. He also agreed to plead guilty to an additional count, namely making false statements to Congress, based in part on information. Oh my gosh, because the reason this was put in, the reason this came up, and the reason they didn't file this particular violation, why he had to plead guilty to it in court, and why they added this to his stack of stuff, and why he hadn't done it heretofore. This is not new to Cohen or his lawyers. This is part of their agreement. Okay? Understand for a second that the release of this information and going into court and saying this out loud and releasing this document and setting this stuff up is a shot across the bow at the Trump administration and Trump himself. This is a warning that it was a shot into the hull, I suppose. Right. They put flags on all the submarine mines, right? So and the crucial part of it is the fact that Trump had just submitted his all of his answers in writing. Oh, they say exactly the lies that Michael Cohen had said to Congress. Yeah, they were. They were super simple. I was able to do, I could have done these in my sleep. I kind of did. So if they're wrong, it's because I was napping while I wrote them. And if I didn't write them right or they were wrong, my lawyers did them. Because watch for that to happen, by the way. Watch for, my lawyers worded it that way. That's not what I meant to say. I meant, I meant to say, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be Russia, not why it would be Russia. Watch for one of those watch for when that lie particularly comes up. So, in the case of, of Trump's, I guess, attempting to throw Cohen under the bus and sort of forgetting that he had coordinated with Cohen his, basically the lie that Cohen was telling to Congress. And it seems that Cohen was part of the coordination that involved Flynn, involved McFarlane, and more than likely involved, the coordination between Papadopoulos and Carter Page. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say the big sweat that is coming is largely due to the fact that Don Jr. was also part of that coordinated. Right. No, oh, right. No, the big, the obvious concern from the Trump side of things right now is that Don Jr. was part of that coordinated messaging to Congress. That same lie that they were telling everybody. And did I lose you again? Are you still there? Do we need to take a break? Are we all right? That Don Jr. himself is the one who has to be afraid right now. Yes, he is. And chat room, you cannot hear Johnny right now because I can't loop the audio through on there, so it's just me. Sorry about that. And so I'll try to fill in what he's saying when I can. Yeah, but he's mostly talking about the bathroom right now because there's clearly some gastrointestinal distress going on. Yeah. Normalcy. Sorry, my bad. To other people. It's distress to other it's distressful to other people, not to you. Yeah, right. So the coordinated lie, like I said, the biggest problem they have right now is that the lie coordination is all about Don Jr. right now. Because Don Jr. was part of that speaking to Congress in session. All those transcripts, by the way, as soon as Dems take over, all those transcripts go straight to Mueller. Nunes has been holding those back and not allowing them to have them. So the minute they get all those closed-door conversations and they check those lies against exactly what Cohen said and exactly what Trump said, The lie about them coordinating the building of a Trump Tower in Moscow, giving a $50 million penthouse to Vladimir Putin to make it happen, the involvement of a bank that is sanctioned by the U.S. government because of the Magnitsky Act and is unable to provide financing to U.S. companies doing business in or with Russia, is the turning point. This is collusion, pure and simple. This is the collusion. Everyone has been going, there's no collusion. There are no, it's been a great joy watching the Fox News angle. They don't find anything. There's no evidence of anything. Meanwhile, they've got multiple indictments. Most of the people are busted for lying to Congress. They're saying, well, Dershowitz? No, he's not. He's implicated in the Epstein case. Epstein, remember Epstein, the pederast who was busted for basically he had that airplane called the Lolita Express, and he would have. No, there's no note from his mom that will save this guy. Although he got just a slap on the wrist, but apparently, Dershowitz is mentioned in one of the filings that he had sex with an underage girl, alleged in this document, and it lasted until the girl was 19 years old. So Dershowitz has a reason to protect Trump or whatever, but even he is saying he's been caught in a perjury trap. There's no getting out. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Sparks Radio program, Mega Worldwide. I love my singing voice. You guys can't hear it on there, but they were playing My Pretty Parasite. All right, I'm going to try and zap the PRAM on this computer, see if that helps. Trump is saying he's going to the George H.W. Bush funeral. Was he invited? I would not be surprised if he was. The Bush family certainly is all about dealing with the presidency as an institution. So as a sitting president, he would be invited. I'm going to zap that PRAM 3 times because that's how you do it, Carl. There you go. That'll work. Let me know when we're coming back, guys. Yep. Excellent. No. I got some troubleshooting to do after the show today. Clearly. Lab rats. That's right. We are back. Thanks to Doris. Yeah, she and Dick Hay kind of handle the local stuff, wherein I on the other hand have a tendency towards nationalizing what's going on. I will say, if you're looking at local news, there is a direct tie right now. Because we had a local alderman. Let's see if I can find that link. Yeah, well, the FBI rolled in. They blanked out his. If my computer would stop blinking at me, I would be able to, no. Just get some psyllium husk. Don't take the chemically stuff. Are you out of your mind? Thanks. So yeah, in the case of well, we'll see. But maybe this will work temporarily. Did it stop blinking? It did. But is it moving? We'll see. Okay. Nope, blinking again. Never mind. I thought I'd fixed it, and then I was so excited. And I'm using the iPad that I have my news story on in this particular thing to, and it has my link to that story, but I'll bring it up in just a second. So the FBI, raided, and I'm sure the chat room can tell me real quick the name of him, because I don't have it right up in front of me because I don't have this story in front of me. But he's been an alderman in the Chicago area for 40 years. And from 2006, starting in 2006, yeah, Ed Burke, thank you, chat room. From 2006, his law firm represented Donald Trump in his real estate endeavors as tax attorneys, and secured for him some. Yeah, right. These days, yeah. So you're right. 50 years. He's been in since 1969. Thank you, Carrie. So my entire life. Yeah. Right. Exactly. At least he's not part of the swamp or anything. Because you know how much Trump hates swamp dwellers. He wanted to drain the swamp. That's why he picked an alderman who's been in the same district for 50 years to be his tax attorney when he tried to build a building in Chicago. Now, the FBI rolled in there. They brown papered the windows so nobody could see what they were doing, and they left with one file box, a computer, and 2 monitors. Now, the 2 monitors part might strike some people as weird, but modern monitors, even the one that I'm having trouble with currently, they have some of them have visual memory in the available in them, so that basically any screen that appeared, any window you had up, can be stored on that monitor if it's not set to not record it. And a lot of times PCs just have that as an automatic thing, like, oh, it's kind of uses it like a browser history stored in your monitor, which like that in and of itself, from a privacy standpoint, I think would freak most people out. But in case you're not aware of that, it's quite important. Yeah, exactly. So so Ed Burke, apparently he's been raided several times, and kind of writes this whole thing off as as like par for the course. We've been busted a bunch of times, but it's never amounted to anything, so don't worry about it. It's not oh, hi Chud. My cat is trying to jump up into my lap right now. you know, it's been obvious to anybody, that it's not good business to be in the circle of Donald Trump these days, especially if you were engaged in anything involving tax work. Uh-huh. Right. You mean Ed Burke? Right. Um, and by the way, oh my God, Christian Bale as Dick Cheney. I mean, it's it's just a sequel to American Psycho, like, but he's gotten old and fat. It is. It's Patrick Bateman, to avoid a murder charge, turned on his fellow businessmen and got a name change. They moved him to Montana, gave him a new identity. He had a couple of kids. He bulked up, lost his hair, um, and that's right. Had his teeth redone for the third time. Uh, because but I mean, in all honesty, like I'm looking forward to that. I think a lot of people in the chat room, yeah, that's going to be crazy to watch. Oh my God, I'm not even going to try to work on my monitor right now. It's freaking me out. It's so frustrating. Oh, that's what it is. I should have. Yeah, good point. Really? Taekwondo? That's No, you don't. Yeah, you did. That's okay. Yeah. And I did study Taekwondo when we were in high school together, so that's probably why you remember that. But oh, hi. So my cat just jumped up into my lap. Um, ow. Using her old lady claws in my leg. So the big switch this week, and it is a big change, is the fact that watch for Trump to get even more freaked out over the course of all this, because this is real. This got real this week. There's a lot where Trump could back out of these, the allegations by Flynn or other people that, he could, they had already set up their story to get rid of Flynn. McFarland changed. No, of course not. You're not going to tell anybody in local civic government that you're raiding the offices of somebody in local civic government. Are you nuts? Of course he doesn't know. And yeah, like, what do you think I am, a daily? I don't know how this all works. Yeah. Oh yeah. Who am I? Ed Burke? Um, so there's, yeah, right. Slash Dick Cheney. I'm going to agree with Chris Matthews that you got to use the actual pronunciation, Cheney. Yeah, that's apparently that's the real pronunciation, Dick Cheney. It drives him crazy that nobody does it right. Uh, he does. He does. Oh yeah, it's a constant thing. I think Fugelsang has a bit about it when he does his Chris Matthews impersonation. He always throws in it's Cheney, not Cheney. Um, Cheney makes it sound stronger, more vital, and that's why he lets it go. Whereas Cheney sounds like 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 Chuck E. Cheese's cousin, Cheney Cheese or something. So the reality is, going forward on this next couple weeks, we're going to start seeing what would be a quickening in the in the Mueller investigation, and that's 100% what the yes. Oh my God, yeah. Well, the right, on if you watch YouTube, the right is still saying his life was ruined. It never. Yeah, and he's on the Supreme Court. Like you can't really call it ruined when you have a lifetime appointment to the highest deliberative body in the U.S. government. When your tenure will outlast any elected official, no matter what. Yeah. So no. Oh yeah, right. I remember that. That not happening. Hey, but boys will be boys. Apparently, we weren't boyish enough. I thought so too, but I wasn't even in the. Turns out we were straight up romantic. I'm not kidding. You know what I mean? Like, I felt creepy for liking a girl who didn't like me, but I never acted on it. I felt it, and I realized it wasn't creepy. It was just sad. I was just kind of like, oh, that's depressing. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching this interview with Dick Cavett and Woody Allen from a long, long ago. The one they pulled the clip that was in Annie Hall from, and he and Allen both talked about how in school when they would go out with girls, the girls would see them at the door if they were set up on a date with them. The girl would greet them at the door, immediately go, "Yeah, come on in, have a seat," with this kind of sad look on their face, and then go change their shoes from heels to flats because they were so short, both of them, that they were like, "Oh no, I'm not wearing heels and being taller than this guy." So yeah, like that's more my speed of what happened. Anyways, we'll be back. It's the House Marks Radio program, Mega Worldwide. Too much reminiscing. That's what happens with all this Kavanaugh garbage. We'll be back. Chad, you're digging into my leg with your nails. Oh, it's killing me. I agree, Carrie. Like I don't know if you guys saw that tweet I did about Democracy Now or whatever. Every Democrat and 14 Republicans voted against, to stop U.S. support of the war in Yemen, of the Saudi government's war in Yemen, but Bernie gets a picture because it's Democracy Now. Like he wasn't even one of the initial sponsors of the bill. Like what? Why? Why? Every Democrat. I mean, you could have shown a group of all the Democrats. Every Senate Democrat. You could have shown a picture of them because they were united in being against it. What's wrong with Bernie? As a human, nothing. Fine. Sorry. Stop bouncing around, you crazy. I don't understand. It's got to be an OS problem. It's bound to be on this. Crazy. Anyways, we'll figure it out. This is literally the worst week. I agree. This was one of the worst weeks for Trump ever. McConnell's not a turtle. He's a snake. I don't know. I don't give him that much credit. Is Mac AirBook you're having problems with? No, it is not. It's the Mac Pro 2013 desktop. But it's really this LG monitor that's being weird, and I don't know if it's because it needs a driver. Cool. I don't know if it's a driver thing. I kind of had to do this on the fly before we started, so no, we cannot hack into Cheney's pacemaker. Simmer down. Bernie's great. The DNC should have required him to switch to the Democratic Party to run in the primary just in May. I agree. And the fact that he didn't stay is my biggest problem with him. That he didn't stay a Democrat. Don't run using my party and then run away. I am using it. Yes, it has an external monitor. It's only an external car. Welcome back to the show. So, and nothing. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, at least you know the notes. You know, it is catchy, and I think appropriate. You know, there's a song on the first 01 record called Animal, and I always joke that I co-wrote it with Dick Cheney, because I used a technique that it's not Trent Reznor, Maynard from Tool uses, where he writes a song about the worst person he can imagine, and then he changes the pronouns from you to I, so he makes it in first person, and it becomes a, you know, it's much more engaging that way. The problem is, I think a lot of people who are not particularly smart are gathering a, you know, kind of take it as permission to behave awfully. You know, it was the problem. That was the problem that STP had with the song "Sex Type Thing," and that's what led Scott Weiland to, when they did it live on MTV. He came out in a dress with smeared lipstick, trying to go, yeah, this is about an awful person, not a good person. So, I mean, that's, yeah, he came out to make that point that all these like bro guys, like pickup artist types, were using the song as a kind of an excuse to say that they could kind of sexually harass girls. And he's like, yeah, no, this is, I'm pointing out that what you're doing is not sex, it's a sex type thing, that it's a monster. So, anyways, the watch going forward over the next week, because as Trump gets back from Argentina, and the Bush funeral gives him magic cover over the next week, where he tries to act presidential for a little while. All the while, there will be these stories that keep coming up out of the filings that come out, you know, from both Cohen's lawyers and from the Mueller team, to kind of put a pin finally in all this stuff. So it says, let's see, I want to read a little bit more from Document 8. For what it says about Michael's fortitude and fundamental character, the significance of his cooperation with the SEO falls outside of the ordinary framework to which courts routinely assess cooperation in criminal cases. They're making him out to be a hero in this, to help, you know, lighten the sentence. Now, these are his lawyers. They are obviously advocating for him. That should come as a surprise to no one, right? That this is the wording of it. It states the obvious to observe that this matter is unique. Michael is cooperating in a setting in which the legitimacy of the SEO's investigation and the rationale for its very existence is regularly questioned publicly and stridently by the President of the United States. And then they reference John Wagner, Trump attacks Mueller probe for fourth straight morning, asks if it will go on forever. Washington Post articles about how Twitter, you know, is weaponized by Trump, you know, in an attempt to undermine the Mueller investigation. CNN articles, like, they go on and on. In contrast to this raw, full-bore attack by the most powerful person in the United States, Michael, formerly a confidant and advisor to Mr. Trump, resolved to cooperate and voluntarily took the first steps towards doing so even before he was charged in this district. Now, of course, the cooperation conversation has been going on before charges are placed. That's the whole point. You operate within a plea deal before they actually charge you. That's okay. But I appreciate them trying. You know what I mean? I understand what they're trying to do. Like, it's basically like, even before this was seen as legitimate, he was helping out. Although it is true that any decision to cooperate in an investigation directly or indirectly touching a sitting president would be weighty and fraught for any former confidant and associate here, in the circumstances of this case, at this time, in this climate, Michael's decision to cooperate requires singular determination and personal conviction. He could have fought the government and continued to hold the party line, positioning himself perhaps for a pardon or clemency. But instead, for himself, his family, and his country, he took personal responsibility for his own wrongdoing and contributed, and is prepared to continue to contribute to an investigation that he views as thoroughly legitimate and vital. Cut to Trump under a helicopter going, he's a weak person. He's a total flipper. He's flipping. Flipping should be illegal. Don't make it legal to flip. People shouldn't be allowed to flip. That should be illegal. Which is by the way, the Law and Order president thinking that he actually wants it to be illegal for people to turn on their bosses in criminal matters. I mean, it's jaw-dropping is what it is. Who the hell? Okay, so yeah. Well, let's continue real quick because there's so much to this. All this stuff, by the way, will be rolling out as they check against these things. But what will basically bear out is that Flynn, McFarlane, Don Jr., and practically everyone else that they interviewed, both the Senate and the House and the Mueller team, all those people interviewed all told the same BS about the Trump Tower exchange. Now the problem is the Russians got busted on the 14th, and that's what killed the deal. Now Trump was obviously angered that it killed the deal, and looks like he gave instruction to Flynn to go, hey, let them know this deal is not dead, okay? Let them know that after I get in office, we'll get rid of these, and Don Jr. and Eric will take over and fix this for us. That is honestly, that is clearly that was the plan and the ploy in process. The issue going forward for Trump and the rest of these folks is that they all coordinated their lie together to because the lie wasn't about we're going to take the sanctions off because the United States needs better relations with Russia. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that they still wanted to build a building in Russia, and they were still going to give a free $50 million penthouse to Vladimir Putin. And they also wanted to build other buildings using oligarchical money that would be freed up after the sanctions were gone. That basically, as a tip, as a fee, as like a finder's fee or like an agency commission, Trump's organization, by freeing up all this oligarchical money to have them hide it wherever they wanted, these oligarchs, including Putin, would donate a little bit, throw a little money his way so he could build some buildings in other countries, which, by the way, he would find out where he wanted to make these by using information given to him by both our military and our State Department and the intelligence community as to where, the best places. I mean, what a great way to find out the best real estate deals. The United States just struck a deal for the next 15 years with this country, and we know we're going to get special permission there. So if you had a building there, more than likely they'll give tax breaks to American businesses, and if you can get in on the ground floor of that, you'll get one of the bigger deals, not the later ones. So Trump was absolutely trying to play this business angle for his own benefit. The issue that they have is that all of these people coordinated a lie, and my personal belief is that Trump backed that up in his written lies to Mueller, and that's why they released. That's why they waited till now to have Cohen plead guilty. They were waiting until they got those answers from Trump to let Trump know, hey, we know you lied. We know you are lying. I think Trump's team, as slapdash and as stupid as they are, and Giuliani is both, they're going to find out the hard way that the idea of coordinating this strategy as closely and as tightly as they did will be their undoing. So, Johnny Million, I love you. I'm so glad when you're on the show. And I apologize for the gastrointestinal distress that you caused in the studio to the other people. Obviously, you ran Lady B completely out of the room. That's right, I guess. Or he has no choice. It's rough. I mean, you literally had to reset the board 3 times. I mean, that's That's incredible. You're hitting Geneva Convention violations there, if I do say so my damn self. Yeah. No water, Johnny. Right. We're gonna have to get John. I'm curious to get you on OMAD, on the intermittent fasting thing, and then see if you can pull off OMAD, or you and I'll do a dry fast together. I'm about to do one. We'll talk more about that in person at some point in the near future, because I want to do a Chicago meetup on the show in the snow, man. Before I go back to China, or in January, February, or right after I come back and I'm completely jet lagged again and the cold won't even bother me. I want to see who will come out downtown and come see us and do a live HSRPM there. So, anyways, love you, budges. Thank you so much, Nico. Thank you, Lady B. We'll see you guys next week. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. This is the House Parks Radio program, Mega Worldwide. Stay tuned for Dick K. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, guys. Signing off so I don't get, stroke. You're awesome. Bye. Bye. Bye, everybody. Disconnecting. Dink. There we go. Woof. Oh, how annoying. Oh, my gosh. Hi, chat room. Good to see you guys. Man, I'm going to see if I can call up on here the chat, because I can only see it for, temporarily when it goes by on this thing, and there's no way to scroll back and talk to you guys. I lost 25 pounds on Keto IF 18 months ago. Wow, that's great. Yeah, we'll do a Chicago meetup, absolutely. And then I'm doing Atlantic City. This coming week I'm in Burbank. I'm doing Flappers. And then the week after that I'm in Atlantic City. And so I might do a New York, might stay 2 days and do my show from New York. Using the Sirius Studios or something like that. Dr. Berg is right on YouTube. Let's see if I've got power on this computer. I might have to plug it in to actually use that. Yeah, so we shall see what we shall see as far as being able to schedule that. But at the very least, I want Johnny and I to be able to do more and more of these, live HSRPMs, because they're so great when, just when everybody's there. I want to, my goal too, and this is, we'll see if we can get our technical world in gear. One of the things I want to do is, can I come to New Orleans? Yeah, for stand-up. I don't know if I'll be able to bring, me and Johnny down there. But I'd like to bring Johnny out here, to LA or to Vegas for a meetup too. Excuse me while I do a little work under the table. Hey, whoop. That's good. All right. There's a plug. There's a plug. There's a plug. There's a plug. Where's the plug? Don't have a plug. Oh, there's one. Yeah. So, hi, I'm back. How are you? Yeah, I have, my sinuses are messed up right now. Not because I'm ill. I'm not sick in any way. It is, okay, get some lunch, Al Vickery, and thank you again for the super chat, you guys. Sue from Morocco, okay. There is a, you gotta power this guy up. Maybe not. No light on there. Why would that be? Is that power? It's not a powered switch. Could that be the root of all my problems? It could be. I don't think so. I very well could have shorted out my entire thing, and you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna just take you guys with me. So I don't have to worry about the studio stuff anymore. think. Or I'll just unplug my whole monitor situation and see if I can get it. Maybe Thunderbolt will solve it. That Carl, that could always be the answer. Could be anything from a failed HDMI. Let's see, how about that? Let's try that. See if that works for us. That would be so weird if it did. There's the HDMI out on this guy. That's for the TV up here. Maybe that'll do. Because then I could put my, even if the other monitor blinks and annoys me, at the very least I could use that. I really think it's a Thunderbolt cable. Yeah, I think so too. I think I've got a failed HDMI cable. It is very possible. Let's see. Okay. It keeps opening up on the wrong resolution. But that, again, I just updated the system software to fix the bug in Vimeo, and it could very well have been causing this weirdness or whatever. It could have just, like, the amount of HDMI stuff I have going in and out, or just loose. Simmer down. Accusing me of having a loose HDMI cable. I never. There we go. Where is this? Okay. See if this wakes up. That, but hi chat room. Check out. Why are the Thunderbolt cables so expensive? I almost had to sell a kidney to buy one. Yeah, I don't get it either. Why don't we have? We're a rich country. Why don't we have fast Wi-Fi? Because there's too many companies that are trying to make the most amount of money on it. Scientists are screwed from breathing recycled airplane fungus. Get some wasabi. You know, it's actually, I was mentioning to say that there is a, the last day we were there filming anyways. We had the last day of filming was the day before yesterday. And I interviewed these two rappers from Chongqing. And they rap in Chongqingese, which is a dialect of Chinese. And we went and had Chongqing hot pot, which is incredibly spicy, right? And for whatever reason, the whole time we're sitting there, the steam from it just managed to find its way towards me almost exactly right when I was about to say something. And it just gutted me. It was like I would catch these huge, deep, heavy breaths of it. It was just overwhelming. Oh wait, my monitor's not blinking right now. What happened? We'll see if it keeps doing that, but wait a second. Hold the phone. This might get better. At the very least, I can go to my current live stream right now. See if it's coming up on there. I don't know. Do I know where to? I have to go to my page, I guess, to see where this is actually going. Let's go there real quick. See if it comes up. No, that's not that. No, I don't want that. See if it comes up on. There we go. It is live right now. See, hopefully, cut that out. Take the audio away. There you go. Now I can see the chat, and it's all good. And look at that. Hey. So yeah. So that's what. Is it spicier than a Carolina Reaper? It's brutal, like spicy. And again, Chengdu was supposed to be. Was supposed to be less, of an issue. It was supposed to be hotter in, than Chongqing. Like Chongqing was supposed to get hotter as we went there, and it just I don't know where they got that from. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is hot," but you wait till you get to Chongqing. Oh my God, it's gonna be hot. You won't even be able to deal. And I did not find that to be the case. Although Chongqing was incredibly spicy, it wasn't the kind of spicy where you're like, I can't, it was much more flavorful, I found. Can we start blaming Alaska for the earthquakes? No. But I will say it was curious to me that Lisa Murkowski wins, against the Democrat, and they have an earthquake, and where are all the Christians going, see, it's because the sinners won. That's why they have all these earthquakes. Have you tried Szechuan hot pot? Yeah, that's what Chongqing and Chengdu hot pot is. Neither Joyce nor the missus can take spicy food at all. I love spicy food. It was so good. Man. And Zelda, the Chinese rap is pretty great. It's, and it's kind of one of those situations where, like, they rap in English too, and they're very good. But they sound like they're copying someone. But when they rap in their own language, you can tell that they're much more connected to it. It's like watching Jean-Claude Van Damme act speaking French. He's actually very good. And same thing with Jackie Chan. Like, his acting when he's speaking, Cantonese is much more fluid than his acting when he's speaking English, because it just works. It just is, God's will, you name the blame. Right. My girlfriend and I think our phones hear what we're talking about. Well, that's possible, because we get ads that are directed related to our conversations. I've been noticing that too. We've been talking about some stuff, and it just kind of pops up, and I was like, yeah, I don't remember. I haven't looked for that yet. Thanks for all the characters. What? Yeah, I don't think so. Speaking of tech, Al, did I mention I just got Apple CarPlay installed in my Mac? That's awesome. I've rented a few cars while I've been traveling, and they have Apple CarPlay in them, and I'm like, that's the one thing I'm missing on my FJ Cruiser, because I love my truck. But yeah, JCVD reminds me of the Street Fighter movie based on the game, based on the movie. The movie JCVD is wonderful. So Apple still uses old Macintosh sound? Yes, it does. As a startup. Act known, prepares thought, just paranoia, I get caught. Yeah. Hal, did you just bring back home Camden from... What did you bring back home Camden from China? Quite a few things. Here, well, I don't have to... The nice thing is I can take you guys with me. That's the nice thing. That's the upside of being able to carry you guys around via iPad is that I can get some of the things that I brought back. By the way, Chud came in and visited me during the show. Now she's just relaxing on the bed. So, obviously, I like spicy food, or I wouldn't have brought back this many peppers, by the way. This is a giant bag of peppers. You could smell it through the plastic. It's so strong. Okay, so, and then... What else? What else did I get? Like quite a few things, actually. Heiguoqi, which is this like kind of a sweet. It's almost like cooking with blueberries or something like that. It's like cooking with dried blueberries. It gives this kind of sweet flavor to stuff when you cook with it. And then this is the stuff. This is it. Dun 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 dun. This is called huajiao, and huajiao is called the numbing pepper. And when you eat it, you could do dental surgery on someone if you just put 4 of these things in their mouth. I kid you not. It is just like, it's overwhelming how I've never experienced a flavor sensation like this. And I'm gonna, the next time I do one of the HSRPM things or the meet and greets, I'm going to bring this, like some of this with me, just so some of you can go, hey, I want to try the huajiao. Let me see what that's like. And because it is the most unique flavor experience I've ever had in my life. Numbing with heat or something else. You know what? It's... Bumper seemed to think when he first tasted it that it was sort of like citrusy at first, and I understand that. But you immediately, half your mouth goes numb. I got, do you drool? Yeah, you kind of start turning into Kara from Caddyshack, you get that business. But it's amazing. The other thing too is we went to so many cool places, and I tried to limit what I was bringing back to stuff that was manageable in my bags and stuff, because we're going back again and again and again, so I don't have to be crazy about bringing stuff home or whatever. And I got this magnet. It's a mandala, and it's hard to even like it looks just kind of like a glass thing or whatever, but when you stare at it, it's almost like hypnotic. So that's one of the reasons why I got it. I'm gonna put that in the office. And I got, chopsticks. I believe in useful tourist stuff. Like buying T-shirts and stuff like that isn't so much useful if it's got, I'll go up here with my. This is the body goals. It's all good. Greg Plitt, poor guy, passed away, but was in amazing shape, and is, as far as like having a body worth looking at that's not all veiny and messed up, he was pretty terrific. I brought these back. These are of course for good luck. These are particular like seed pods, but Buddhist monks wear them. They all wear them around. They prostrate themselves on the ground in front of these giant Buddha places, and then they've all, the ones you get that are worthwhile are the ones that they wore and prayed with. So I got one of those for summer, and I brought that back. I was wearing it during the show a little bit, but it was clacking too much. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a picture of me on the mountain, tethered, but still, I don't know how much you trust. Like the wire you were tethered to there has about all the stability of like an Ethernet cable. I wouldn't trust it per se. I took a class on Chinese watercolor painting. This is my first attempt while I was shooting. Not too bad, not too shabby, having never done that before in my life. Hi, Chud. Yeah, hi. She keeps following me around. She just wants some loves. You want some loves, don't you? That's right. Yeah, hi. You can purr. Purr, it's good. Yeah. You can hear you. Say hi, Chud. Murphy's downstairs, so I think I can show you guys Murphy. You're very sheddy, Chud. You're very sheddy. So, Carl will probably appreciate this more than most. So, I bought like 5 of these and brought them back for my dude friends. There's a company called Miniso that's actually a Japanese company, but it's very popular in China, which is very awkward. And they have all this stuff that's like really compact, storable and all that. Oh, that's not good. That broke open. That's not gonna be very fun. The heck? No, it didn't get over. Oh, it got on a pair of jeans or two. That's all right. I'll wash it. It'll wash out. Ooh, and it did stain my whole thing. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that. This was supposed to be. Oh, I know what it was. This was the oil. Yeah. Well, that didn't survive. That's spicy. Yeah. So my attempt to bring something home was a fail. That died in my bag, apparently. But hey, you can't win everything. Sticky sticker sticking in my feet. But yeah, throw that in the trash because that's gross. And wash my hands so I don't accidentally rub my eye and then run screaming. So, let's see. Is this still broadcasting? There we go. Hope you don't mind me asking again, but what does the red plus sign and a diamond symbol for on your mic mean? Oh, that's my personal totem. I designed it myself when I was in high school. The blue one is one that we have for all the regular HSRPM members, but the essence of it, and because the red one's for music, But let's see if I have one. I think I have one in the drawer here. I can show you. Oh, I hate that drawer. There you go. Yeah, here's one of the blue ones. It for me it speaks to the idea that, you know, as a multi-hyphenate who does multiple things in multiple forms of art, the tension between trying to do all those and learning and developing and all that kind of stuff, the tension between all of those things is what makes the other ones possible and makes you a whole person. It's that, you know, that life balance is kind of an illusion, and that a certain amount of tension between the things you want to do is what creates your life. If that makes sense. Always bring sandwich freezer bags to seal up stuff, prevents cross leakage. Yeah, thanks. Can't stop lying. Now you tell me. You know what? We were over there, and for the both the huajiao and for the peppers, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna divide these amongst the crew, and so everybody can take some home with them, right? So I was gonna, like, I'll just get some sandwich bags. Well, they don't have sandwich bags in China. They just don't. I mean, they have individual bags, plastic bags in the little thing like you would think of it, but they're not sealable. They're just plastic bags on a roll, like garbage, like mini garbage bags, right? So they just don't have them. So I looked all over, went place to place, yeah. So, and nothing. By the way, let me see if I can call up Mimo Live, and then maybe we'll jump on and have a slightly better resolution. Maybe. Let's see. Cohen forward. No, I'm going to go to, hold on 1 second. Go to Creator Studio. Start my, what happened? Why did my monitor blink just as I did that? Everything was fine. And then it started messing with me. Okay, let's see. Let's try. I'm going to pop over to the post show so we can have slightly better video and slightly better audio, if indeed it works. So that's the tough part. Yeah, so it's the tension between the two, kind of an Escher print idea, that they all touch each other and they all kind of, but the tension between the two, that's what it's about. That's what it means symbolically for me. And so I wear it as a representative of that thing to remind me to, you know, always keep improving in all the areas that I care about. If that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna see. Check one. Okay, that works. And then I'm gonna rename this guy. All right, and see if we go. Yes. Relocate that. Okay. And then start that show. And hey, look at that. It's popping up. Is it working over there? Okay. So as soon as this is up and running, and you guys want to unsupported resolution. What? No, it seems all right. There you go. Up and running. Hey, that's a much better resolution. So I'm going to hop over to the other stream. Feel free to join me over there. See you in a second. Love you. You guys are great. Let's see. Okay.